help you with?
A little bit of a glitch there. Still working on the details, but I left off by saying I love all cars. American muscle, European, Japanese. I love them. I love them all. But you know, I'm full-blown car enthusiast, huge nerd. BMWs are what I drive, though. To me, they're one of the most enthusiast designed cars. You know, I always say, you know, the interiors on Mercedes are maybe more luxurious. There might be some more exciting interiors and things like that than a BMW, but everything is familiar, everything works well. I think it's timeless. Right now, I'm currently driving my M240i in Thunder Night. I will do my best to put some images on there for you to see. If you don't already follow me, I'm going to be on Instagram under Matthew Sargent. That's my name, not too difficult. Probably going to create a different enthusiast page for my channel, which is Redline Symphony. So you'll be able to find me YouTube, Instagram, and all of those places for more content. I love photography. I've been doing it my whole life, not just cars, but other things. I love capturing moments. I enjoy capturing people, you know, scenery, all kinds of different things. I love to be creative. So yeah, follow me there for those. I have a history of journalism in college. I was the editor of one of the editors of the paper, mainly the photographer for the campus and the newspaper, and I loved it. It helped me get through college, extra credits, and really, you know, solidified my passion for photography. And part of the reason I'm doing this is not because I think that I'm gonna have a chance to make a career out of YouTube. I know that's not realistic. I mean, it can happen, but I'm realistic in knowing that, like, I'm not making like a full go of it. I didn't quit my job and you know, following my dream. I'm just toying around with opportunities. You know, there are other people that'll probably find it kind of funny, but at the same time, it doesn't bother me. I don't give a F about, you know, if I fail or seem silly doing this, but I'm gonna do what I enjoy. And, you know, if you don't take chances in life, right? So again, today it's just kind of like a quick drive video blog about who I am, what I hope to do with my channel, which is, you know, amateur journalism. I'd love to review some new cars, some old cars. Obviously, I think it's important to try to find something that's a little different from all the established channels out there. It seems to me like it's a really nice community of people that are willing to support each other and share tips on a good channel, good pages. So I really look forward to maybe making some more connections with people that are already doing this. I already have. I also hope to not be someone who says all the time and has some good quality content. Right now, I'm taking a drive out towards Plum Island in the Newburyport, Massachusetts area. It's absolutely gorgeous. Not the best driving roads, but some of the best scenery. Gorgeous houses, gorgeous cars, gorgeous people. And also, I mentioned earlier that I have a fiance named Juan. I'm not going to say that this is going to be a gay channel, but this is 2022, and if anyone has a problem with that I'm totally fine with you not being a fan of my channel. Some of my closest and dearest friends are heterosexual males. I actually honestly think that they really enjoy having me as a friend, especially when we talk cars and do stuff like that, because they don't have, you know, that toxic masculinity, which, you know, I can appreciate, but at the same time, it's like you can kind of leave that aside and just enjoy talking cars and not having to kind of one-up or be masculine about things. You can just truly enjoy your passion and talk cars. And sometimes I think that guys sometimes get into that, and that's a discussion for a whole other day. But I have so many friends and supporters that are straight guys that are rooting for me, and I just love that. And and driving around lately too, like the females, I love that I see so many cool cars with female drivers. Like, that's awesome to me, to see. I mean, women have obviously always been into cars, but it just seems like more and more enthusiast cars are being driven by women, and I love that. We're really slow traffic right now. I think I got like an unmarked cop behind me too, so that's a lot of fun. Not that I was planning to like do anything too crazy today. So during this test video, why don't we talk a little bit more about my car history and the car I'm driving now. So again, the car I'm driving now, Thunder Night Purple M240, had to have the color. It makes me think of in the mid 90s, the M3s, M5s, we had Daytona Violet, and we also had Techno Violet. I think they were pretty similar to this color, probably different shades. I'd love to see them all kind of next to each other to get some comparisons. But I always love that. I love colors. 2 cars ago, I had a 4 Series that was in Snapper Rocks, which some of you may know is a teal blue. I spec'd that with night blue leather. Kind of looked a little bit too mermaid-ish, but I loved it. I just love color. A lot of people talk about like resale on cars and speccing them with wild colors. I'm ordering it for me. I want to enjoy it. I want to walk up to it and be like, that's a cool color. I don't spec cars for resale. I really don't like attention. I'm kind of awkward when it comes to it. I love to talk cars, but the people that are just like going on and on about the color, that's not why. I just love the color. We got a 911 Turbo in a cool blue color over there I'm not familiar with, and a GT4 Cayman. Always spot those on my drive out to Plum Island. Love them. So anyway, the M240. Love this car. I feel like it's part of, a lot of people say it, but I think it's part of the last of some of the traditional combustion engine enthusiast BMWs. The M2 is coming soon. I can't wait to see that. I think that's going to have a manual. This is obviously an automatic, which works perfect as a daily driver, and it's an awesome 8-speed automatic with the near 400 horsepower 6-cylinder straight 6. It's just a classic BMW in a modern shape. A lot of people don't really like the new design, but I feel like designs that people love from the start are not long lasting. I feel like when they create controversy and there aren't a lot of fans in the beginning, it sometimes makes for more success for long-term design success, if that makes any sense. The side silhouette of this car, I think, is perfect traditional coupe. The back and the front are a little bit funky, but in time, it's really grown on me. I think it is a great modern interpretation of the original BMW 2002 with the single headlights. Obviously, BMW is known for the twin headlights. But something about this, I think, just it really works. At first, I kind of felt like it had almost kind of like a Camaro headlight look, and it looked too similar to some other things. But in person, getting to see how the light reflects off of it in different sceneries, I think it is really a very good-looking car. It has a lot of muscle to it. In the design, I follow the designer on Instagram, and I can't specifically name off other things that he's designed. But I know he's young and probably newer in his career, but I think this was a good success for his portfolio. And I really do think it looks great in the Thunder Night color. Lighter colors like I think it's the Brooklyn Gray, and even white really show off some of the shapes almost even better, especially with some of the front vents and features that are a little bit more striking. They kind of get lost in the Thunder Night, but I had to have this color. Since I became passionate with cars as a kid, I just loved purple. That's the original, the mid-90s M3 E36, is it? Forgive me if I'm wrong. You know, and I can take it if I'm wrong. Correct me below. Totally fine. I'm all about education. But ever since then, I had to have the purple. But this is a rear bias xDrive system. It's very obvious that it is. You know, but it's also good to have the xDrive system living in New England. We get harsh winters, we get snow, and I used this all last winter. I had no issues. Obviously, it rides a little bit lower, so, you know, deep snow is going to possibly be a problem, but we maintain roads here. We know how to handle driving conditions like that, and if it's truly that bad, I'm not going to go out driving. So far, so good on that. I did take delivery of this car the day before Thanksgiving in 2021. I think I was lucky enough to be one of the first to really have this model. I know I took delivery before a lot of people in the UK, and that's probably down to the fact that this car is actually manufactured in Mexico, which I don't know why anyone would have a problem with that. At first, it was kind of like, oh my god, they're supposed to come from Germany, but you know, it's still German based. They have their reasons for it, and I don't have a problem with that, and you shouldn't either. So lucky enough to have it before a lot of other people. I do love to have things before others. I don't have to, but I enjoy it. So my previous model, to give you some comparison, which I don't know if there are many people out there that were able to compare ownership, but before this I had the M235i Grand Coupe, or Grand Coupe, however you want to say it. That was a very interesting car. I had it for a year. It was black sapphire over the it was like lava red. I know that's not what it was called. Magma red or orange. You know, whatever color magma is. It was very much kind of like a reddish orange with the sport seats, which I really liked. I wish I had those seats in this car, not because of comfort, because they really are the same seats, but just because it's a kind of goldish yellow Volkswagen Arteon. You don't see those very often. Pretty design, I think. Kind of reached Land's End here, so I'm kind of turning back and heading back towards town as I ramble on. But anyway, yeah, the M235i, I just thought those seats looked really cool. And one thing that bummed me out about the US market on the M240 is the seats are kind of boring. They're the same sport seats you'd get in any other BMW. They're very comfortable. They hold you in well. They have bolster adjustments. We're all familiar with that. They just don't look as exciting. I know in other markets like UK, the M240i has kind of wider sport seats that look more M-like. I just think they look cooler. They don't really make a difference, but that's just one observation. But the M235i Grand Coupe, I told people that in my opinion it would be more successful here if it was marketed as the M135i hatch, just like as it is in the UK and Europe and other parts of the world. I feel like being a GTI kind of like competitor would make it more successful. I feel like it's underappreciated here. It also has that front bias xDrive system, which unless you're really pushing hard, you didn't notice. It's a 300 horsepower 4-cylinder, which made a lot of cracks and bangs and seemed to make more noise than this. Not necessarily good noise, but it was fun. It was underrated. The problem and reason I got out of that was I was able to lease vehicles. I wasn't putting a ton of mileage on, and it was a good, fun way to experience new daily drivers every 2 to 3 years. But when this car came out, I didn't have the high hopes that I'd be able to trade early, but they made it work. I financed this one, so I don't have that mileage anxiety. And since November, and we're now in the end of July, I've put on over 20,000 miles. So good chance I have one of the highest mileage M240i's out there. No problems with it or quality, aside from only one issue, which I don't know all the details on. Luckily, BMW helped me out. The headlight had excessive moisture, which I understand is normal in some LED headlights, but this was excessive. And my OCD could not tolerate that. And luckily, they were accommodating. They got the replacement in, and we are good to go. Other than that, no mechanical issues. It's just a great engine. The B58 they call it. You have it in the new Supra, you have it in the Z4, and any other inline six BMWs. It's not a new engine. It's a great engine. And if this is my last new combustion engine buy, I think it's a good one to go out with. I understand that things are have already gone electric. In most cases, we're getting very close. So I have put a lot of miles on, but it wouldn't hurt my feelings to keep this car for a very long time. I'd like to get a late 80s, early 90s like project car that I can teach myself a little bit more basic mechanics on. But someday this is going to be an older enthusiast vehicle, and I look forward to that. And it'd be cool to say that I bought this car new. I might go electric at some point. I don't necessarily look forward to it, but I know that's the way we're going, and there's gonna be a whole new world of enthusiastic driving when it comes to electric cars, and I look forward to it. I'm willing to embrace it. But anyway, so we discussed the M235 Grand Coupe. It was an underrated car. I enjoyed it, but I think it would have been more successful here if they brought it over as a hatch version. I think it would be more enthusiasts sought if that was the case. Muscle car there. I need to definitely brush up on my muscle car knowledge. That was definitely a General Motors product of some kind. I want to say like a Cutlass. We have a Bel Air coming here. I knew that. We have an AMG GT there. A lot of enthusiast vehicles. I do enjoy it here. But yeah, muscle cars I definitely need to brush up on a little bit more. So bear with me there. Before the M235, it was more BMWs, everyday BMWs. I tried to spec them in colors that made them a little bit more exciting, but obviously with my financial situations, I couldn't get the most exciting cars. I'm very much grateful. All the times I've driven down this way, there's literally a field runway for airplanes down here, and there's always planes parked there, but I've never actually seen one take off until just now, which is pretty cool. But before, as I said, I had the Snapper Rocks 4 Series Grand Coupe. I thought that was a beautiful car. I really enjoyed that. That one had the 4-cylinder, so it wasn't quite as fast enough. Wasn't really an enthusiast car. Before that was I almost forgot. I had a 2015 2 Series, Melbourne Red over Oyster. I ordered that. Loved that. That was the 4-cylinder. It was really all you needed is an enthusiast car. Granted, it didn't have the 6-cylinder, but it made up for being less weight, and you really felt it in the corners. It was really a ton of fun, and for the price, it was just such a win-win. And before that was the last generation 3. I think it was a 2012. Is it the F30 Generation 3 series? Spec'd that in Imperial Blue, which is like a navy blue over the coral red. I really love the contrast. Mixed together, kind of looked purplish. Here we are. Really enjoyed that. Before that was a 2006 330. There's an E46 M3 convertible. I agree with everybody else that the E46 was like the pinnacle of M car. It was just so, I love that. I had an E46 330, not an M3. Very much loved that car. That was my only manual. Love driving manual. I wish this car was a manual. I'd like to get my hands on more manuals. The last manual I drove recently was my nephew, who just turned 16 and got his first car. Talk about cool first car. He got mid-90s black Honda Del Sol manual. And what a cool first car to have. It had low mileage. He found it from like an older couple. The Targa top that comes off. What a fun car. Not a lot of power, obviously, but you don't need it. It's fun, and kind of jealous that he has that. But of course, he was cool enough to let me try it out, and I let him drive my cars. Anyone who ever wants to drive my car, I have no problem sharing, because I mean, if we're enthusiasts, we want to enjoy these things, and if you're an enthusiast, there's a good chance that you're going to be respectful enough to not wreck or damage someone else's car. There was a 330 E46 330. I think it was the IS. It was kind of like the last generation that had the like performance pack, but that was cool too. And they were checking this out. You know, enthusiasts when they look at your car, because I feel like this is not an extremely common car, at least not right now. So when people are looking, I know that they're an enthusiast. They know what it is, which is more exciting to me than the car itself. Almost, I love meeting other enthusiasts. Right before I started filming this initial vlog, I actually checked out a BMW mechanic in Newburyport, just because I saw that there was a shop in town, and I'm not shy. I just wanted to go and say hello, check out what they had. They had an M2 competition. They had a whole bunch of early 2000s, late 90s BMWs. I just love looking at it, and I talked to all the guys, the owner and a couple of guys, and I just love talking cars. I'll talk to anyone. Last weekend I went to the New England Grand Prix in Lime Rock, Connecticut. If you haven't been, I highly recommend it. It's a gorgeous facility in the Berkshire Mountains, which sounds like Massachusetts, but it's tucked in the northwest corner of Connecticut. Easy to get to if you're anywhere in New England. And if you're an enthusiast, it's really a must-see, because not only is the racing amazing, but the vendors, the infield parking, it's all awesome. I mean, they do a great job of separating cars by brand. It turns into kind of an unofficial car show. I was parked with all the BMW CCA, Car Club of America parking. We were able to go out on the track for a little bit. I do have that posted on my YouTube channel. It's not the most exciting of hot laps, if you even want to call them hot laps. I was surprised they let us crack on as fast as we did, but you actually got to hear this car. The audio wasn't terrible when it came to some of the sounds that the car was making. I know that a lot of the sounds are kind of piped into the car. In that video I had the windows down, and luckily there wasn't a ton of interference, and you could hear the crackles and pops on downshifts, and it was pretty aggressive. It sounded great, and you know, some of the sound is synthesized, some of it's fake and piped in. We all know that, but I'm personally okay with that. I mean, we all love our action movies, even though most of the sounds are fake in those. I mean, we probably wouldn't watch action movies that didn't have cool sound. So, I mean, I'm realistic. It's fine. It's all about the experience, and I enjoy it. Another 911 over here. Newburyport is a gorgeous town. It's a very old port sea town, and it gives me a UK vibe. Some of the shops here and restaurants are just beautiful. Old E-Class. There's some perfect condition E-Classes around the area. Love them. I'm gonna pause and start a new video just for editing purposes. Bear with me.